Amazing work. Kang, Stefano, amazing work as well on the analyst desk. Johnny, we got the finals right now. We have
We do.
Scaling versus the Dinzbags.
We do, and we're going hot and fast into these bands. Rise taken out, Galio taken out, and Nautilus gone. I'm excited for this. It's like they mentioned, Scaling has kind of been a little bit of a perennial favorite throughout the entire
Mm-hmm.
league, and then Dinzbags, like they said, just been improving. Just a scrappy team. They're fan
Yep.
favorites, so I'm excited to see what kind of goes on there. TF now banned out, and Lilia banned out by Scaling.
Yeah, Dinzbags are taking away from the Puke Lord, who is back after a hiatus from scaling. The Puke Lord, really, really strong mid laner. Of course, Seafarens over on the Dinzbags, no slouch himself, but a lot of mid bans coming out, and particular the Rise targeted towards Seafarens. Now, scaling has already picked up Cassiopeia, which definitely could be going towards the bot lane there. You know, that definitely is one of the scaling. What Leggy is nuts on this champion, but of course, Puke Lord capable on mid. Now, Bard and Hecarim here, and Shen is the hover from Scalings.
Yeah, and
Scaling.
Bard Luminix is just the best champion, so that's
Yep.
gonna be huge there. Hecarim can obviously just run at you, but the person that kind of stops you from running at you a little bit sometimes, the Shin.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, good, really good shout to mention Luminex's Bard. It's been absolutely ridiculous all year, and it's a big event that Scaling is even leaving it up because for me that would be a permaban from how well Luminex plays on it, and
Especially since they
often ends
decided
up
to,
being the real carry there.
especially since they decided to ban the Nautilus instead. Like
Sure.
I'm
Yep.
guessing that's just like they don't want to just deal with that champion in general anyway,
Hmm.
because they just don't like it. But like, yeah, it's just Luminix's best champion. He's willing to
Yeah.
force pick it. He's willing to
Yeah.
blind pick it into anything. So it's
The
huge.
Nautilus ban actually makes me think that it's the Cassiopeia bot lane because that is very weak to something like a Nautilus, maybe a little stronger against the Bard. Echo is coming in, and since we see the Hecarim, we know that's Seafarens on Echo in mid, looking for that pop off, and the mid counter pick likely coming over here from scaling. And so they do still get the counter pick even with all those bans coming out. But scaling has their last ban. They've taken out Nasus, which is a very interesting one. I haven't seen a lot of Nasus there. And we'll see, exactly who that's targeted at. But
Yeah,
Dinzbags
and
going
I
to
was
keep
about to
going, and
say, still up was the Samara.
there we go.
Dinzy's been like spamming this in solo queue, ready,
Hmm.
ready to bring it out, and it's here in the final. That's a scary champion right now. Very, very big snowball potential.
Yeah, absolutely true there. So, we'll see. They have a lot of crowd control already with the Shen and Sejuani. So we'll see if that Samira is able to get going in team fights and really pop off the way Dinsbag wants. Nice pairing with the Bard as well. Good early game presence in lane, and scaling has yet to respond. They have a support potentially to pick. There's the Thresh. Look at how much crowd control is coming in already on scaling, Johnny. This is scary for a Samira player who's trying to get that ult off and trying to get those combos. When you're diving into a taunt, multiple knockbacks and stuns and all of this stuff, you're really going to have trouble. Pantheon now the hover, and that would be the support. Oh, that would be I'm not
Mid,
exactly
top,
sure where the Pantheon is going. It could be mid here, going up against the Echo, who's
yeah,
pretty tough to
scaling.
deal with in lane.
Scaling definitely doing quite an interesting composition there with that
Yeah.
Pantheon pick. It kind of it makes some sense in the sense that you can like Pantheon ult in, Shen ult in, and then everyone's just kind of following up. You have the follow up
Yeah.
CC after that with Sejuani, and then Cassiopeia obviously is going to lay down a ton of damage though. But the biggest concern is that that is all your damage is coming
Mm-hmm.
out of that one champion there in Cassiopeia. So we'll have to see what scaling does over there. But I believe we'll throw it back to the analyst desk and they'll do some more analysis.
Yeah, see what they think of this Tryndamere last pick as well. Analyst desk, take it away and send us off.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start off with that Tryndamere pick with the send off. I think that the Scoop Lord definitely really gonna like that Tryndamere pick. I think he has a great affinity towards those sorts of champions. We've seen him play Jax, we've seen him play the Tryndamere, we've seen him play all these other split push options. And, as we saw last week when Dinzbags try to go for coin flip plays, sometimes they win the coin flip and also get the split push off on the other side of the map. So I think that Tryndamere is going to be pretty comfortable pick for him more than anything. And yeah, I think the way that Dinsbags like to play the game, I think that Tryndamere is a good fit. Not necessarily for their comp, but for their team.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, my big question is, I'm not an analyst, of course, but can Dinzy on Samira survive with the Shen on the enemy team?
You see, I think the Samira, and to use the technical term here, was a very, very bad pick. You have Samira famously does not do well into CC, and not only does this team have a bucket load of CC, including a point and click with Pantheon, they also have Cassiopeia Miasma, which is just a death sentence for Samira almost all the time. The range on it is on the Miasma is give or take the same as Samira's auto attack range. So Samira is definitely going to have a hard time getting it going this game.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that depending on how the Cassiopeia plays, you can pretty much just shut down like the entire comp of
Yeah.
Dinzbags. You know, you can prevent Hecarim engages, you can prevent Trinamirs from getting away. Um, Obviously, the Samira can't really get her resets off if she's in the miasma. So I just think that scaling pretty much played them in this draft. I think so. As long as they can execute well, I can definitely see a world where scaling takes game one.
I do think a really interesting note by scaling is they did leave the Bard open, but they ended up banning the Rise and picking the Cassiopeia, and I believe it's going to be a Pantheon mid, just because Seafarens is known for these control mages. Pantheon mid is good at countering them, but the matchup is going to end up being Pantheon versus the Echo, so a little bit more of a volatile lane there. We'll see if Seafarens can keep it going.
All right, so it looks like we're leaning towards scaling to take this first game. Let's see if they can execute well, as Kang said. We're going to go to a few-minute competitive integrity break, and then we'll be back with game one of scaling versus Dinzbags in the grand final in the Manitoba Esports League.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the grand finals of the Manitoba Esports League. We are here with Scaling versus Dinzbags. Scaling over on the blue side. We got the Coop in the top lane. We got Quinn in the jungle. We got the Puke Lord back in mid. FSG Leggy in the bot lane, and Alex Dirty supporting him on that Thresh. And Johnny, we got an invade.
Yeah, before I introduce our red team, let's make sure nothing crazy happens here. Looks like they are just going to back off, so I will have the opportunity to introduce the Dinzbags. In the top lane, we got Scoop Lord. In the jungle, Dustin Campbell. At mid lane, Seafarens. At the bot lane position, you got the namesake Dinzbag, supported by Luminix.
Yeah, and definitely Luminex and Dinzbag, one bot lane to watch out for. But Leggy, arguably, potentially the most skilled player, pound for pound, we have in the entire league. Super, super good player. And on a hyper carry, it's always going to be scary. Something we also talked about is this mid lane matchup. We got Pantheon coming in against Seafarens. And, you know, we talked in the break here about how this Pantheon pick is odd. Like it is a bit of a lane bully, and you want the lane kingdom, but it doesn't scale. It doesn't provide things that, you know, some other champions do. You've really, really got to make this work.
Yeah, and part of it was Dinzbag's banning. They banned out the TF and banned out the Galio, and this is just what Puke Lord likes to do. Really likes to help out his side lanes, definitely likes to help out this bot lane. So it's what he likes to do. So he went to, like, I guess, another pick to try to do that with. I don't know. I'm not a giant fan of of this, because I said Nocturne by accident, because I was gonna say I feel like just Nocturne mid is just a better version of this pick, and you could just do that, and it's just like it's actually easier to play and just better, and like it falls off in damage too, but not nearly as hard as Pantheon does. So I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of it, but. And you mentioned it earlier, Leggy, though. If there's going to be someone who's going to hyper carry a game, it's going to be Leggy here. So they're just put all the eggs in the basket of Leggy, and I understand them doing it because he's such a good player. But it's just scary because, like, let's say Dinzbags, who does have very much has the potential to completely pop off. He's the other person. If anyone's going to be a hard carry, it'll be Dinzbags. So it's just that this is the matchup. This bot lane matchup is the one to watch.
Exactly. These are the two who are expected to do some damage here. Ooh, Dinzbag taking a bunch of damage already. Want to go back to that Pantheon point one more time before we move on, because definitely the thing that it has over Nocturne is that crowd control potential against the Samira. Instant stun on any champion, and you're putting that on Samira in every team fight. That is going to be able to activate the Cassiopeia. Already Scoop Lord, you can see getting bullied there out in lane. That is definitely a good sign. You definitely don't want to let that Tryndamere get rolling. It's going to be up to Dustin Campbell to try to do it, and he is making his way towards that top lane.
Yeah, he's definitely going to want to kind of go over there and get that going. Wants to make sure that your global there has the ability to fight. Because if you take it down, I'm going to shut up because Puke Lord's taking kind of damage over here. He's being held by Quinn, so Seafaren's going to be forced to flash away. Gets taken down. There's our first blood in our final. Meanwhile, we go to the bot lane. Leggy wants to get the second blood. They're going to be able to walk away from a magical journey, though, and they'll be okay right now.
Yeah, Quinn manages to pick it up, and that mid-jungle isn't something we touched on too much, but the mid-jungle duo of Pantheon and Sejuani is so powerful here in the early game. You can activate that passive if you get an empowered W. Hang on, another gank coming in from Quinn.
Dinzbag being aggressive, but Quinn is down here just in time. Magical Journey will not take you out of here. This time, Luminix Dinzbag now in quite a bit of trouble. Here's Alex Dirty and Leggy are chasing him down. Leggy will pick up that kill as the minion technically executed, but of course, Leggy last one to hit him, so they are rolling, scaling 3-0 right now.
Johnny, I think it actually was Leggy's final auto attack there from the Cassiopeia. That pathetic little snake that he sent out was the one that finally finished off Dinzbag, and it is huge for Leggy to pick up a kill there, because that is going to activate the Cassiopeia, and this early game is where you want to punish that pick in the hyper carry position there if you've got Samira Bard very strong in the early game. Quinn so far has been super powerful in this early game. He always gets praise, well-deserved praise, for his pathing and for his presence he's able to exert on the map. It looks like this series is going to be no different, as that Sejuani already making plays everywhere.
Yeah, the one thing I do like about the scaling composition is that they knew Dinzbags wanted to play this champion, right?
Yes.
So they kind of knew that, like, hey, we could just pick all this CC, and even though, like, the general wisdom would be like, oh, this is not the pick to pick Samira in, you just kind of knew Dinzbag was going to play it. So they just played as if that was already picked, right? As if it was already blind picked.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I can see that scaling maybe getting a bit of a read on that and saying, you know, Dinzbag, we know his personality. This is a mind game. They're purposely giving up this champion because they feel like they can beat it. And so far, definitely looks like an advantage for that bot lane there of scaling here.
Yeah, so they definitely end up picking that up. And yeah, they got this early advantage. Dragon is now spawned now, so we'll see where they kind of committed over. You do see the Sejuani over here. You do see Puke Lord kind of hanging out near that does not have ultimate yet. Magical Journey will take away Luminix and Dinzbags once again. So they'll get out of there for now. One thing to know though, Dinzbag's still farming fairly well.
Yep.
So not actually that far behind. Obviously the one kill is a kill, but definitely, if he just keeps up and farm, really fine. But so is Dustin Campbell. Dustin Campbell also farming up really, really well, basically making up that difference that Quinn got those cute kills.
Yeah, exactly. Quinn giving up farm for presence on the map there, but also managing to get a bit of a better path and a bit of a better map control here, and he does have total control of sort of that bot river area. They had maybe an opportunity to take Dragon there, but decided not to go for it. Quinn making a play on mid, but that's just going to push Seafarens away. Very valuable presence already gained there by the Sejuani. And this Dragon doesn't look like either team's really going to prioritize it yet. We've talked about it all season, Johnny. One Infernal Drake doesn't do a whole lot in the early game, and so you are only going for that if you feel like it's a sure team fight win and you're not risking any sort of punishment. So far, neither team feels that comfortability yet. Dustin Campbell, though, kind of posturing around the bot lane, and we'll see if they can bait this into a fight here.
Yeah, they're starting to go over there. Quinn has now started up this Dragon. Luminix and Dustin Campbell are right here, though, but Quinn has to jump over the wall. Alex Dirty was also there with the Lantern. Does get a hook onto Dustin Campbell, trying to pull him into them. Leggy now is stepping up here, but here comes the rest of the team. Here's Puke Lord. This is why you wanted the Pantheon pick to jump on, just like Jake. Leggy's going to be able to get the first kill, and look on the next one. Luminix is trying to get away, will not be able to do so. Leggy got a double now, and this Dragon will be theirs.
Leggy is absolutely popping off already. 3 kills on the Cassiopeia. If this is a scrim, it's GG next, Johnny. This is not good at all in terms of what scaling can do here. definitely able to live up to their name and get that scaling composition going early. And we were talking about maybe a bit of lack of damage profile, but if the Cassiopeia is going to get this strong, that's never a concern. It is just too powerful a pick once you get it fed. Pukelord, really, really nice ult there, making best use of the Pantheon possible and absolutely turning the tides there of that fight. You saw Dustin Campbell having to go, trying to go in because he realized he didn't have much of a way out, but it was just Seafarens not able to apply enough pressure to sort of bully the Pukelord out of a position where he could join that fight. And so it's really the Pukelord who was able to turn that one around. Great map play so far from Scaling.
Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly why Pukelord wants to play champions like this. Like, this is just what they do as a team, and they do it the best in the league. And it's proven by their first place seeding and where their route to the finals here right now. So Pukelord's back, ready to do Pukelord things. And,
yeah, exactly.
Making that happen now so far. Again, it'll just continue to be interesting because they are farming well across the board right now for Dinzbags. So we memed about it being GG next already after those kind of things, but like if they continue up just straight up killing minions as good as they are, they could definitely come back in this game as long as they kind of shore up those mistakes and not get into fights that clearly Scaling will win.
Yeah, and something to point out here is that with Leggy being the one who's fed, he's got a lot of responsibility because something else you've got to point out about this composition is the Tryndamere up in the top lane. Scooplord, if he starts to pop off here, he's going in for the kill. The Coop
doesn't kind
has
of
to
want
flash
them
away
to
there.
try to go to pop off. I mean, like turn into Alex Dirty getting blocked by Dinzbags over there, but. Yeah.
Anyway,
that is something you do want to get ahead because there's two things. Like they have two globals, and always the wisdom is to attack the global. There's a fight. Luminix taking some damage. Leggy looking to finish this one off. Does have a lot of damage, but will be just enough to get away, will Luminix. But anyway, the point I was trying to make, you tend to want to attack the global, but you also have like the double benefit of if you get a Tryndamere ahead, this game would turn up insane. But the Coop gets a nice taunt on top of them right now. We turn back to the bot lane as Leggy picks up a kill, and then we turn into the mid lane as Seafarens is now forced to flash out. Action all over the map. Dinzbag is grounded over here, trying to make some play, but will not be able to. Leggy's able to walk away from that one.
Yeah, Scaling just winning all of these fights. A nice hook there under the tower by Alex Dirty, and Leggy just has enough damage. Once he starts completing items, it's going to get even scarier. I want to go back to what I was talking about with the Cassiopeia versus Tryndamere matchup, because Tryndamere really wanting to get on the carries here, and if Scooplord can start to really get some free farm and scale up, it can be very difficult to deal with. The thing is, Leggy on Cassiopeia has a grounding mechanic, which stops you from flashing and stops you from using your dash as Tryndamere in a fight. If he places that properly, this is why I'm saying there's so much pressure on Leggy to perform here, because not only is he the main damage source, he also is the main source for actually peeling the main damage threat late game, which is Scooplord. So that grounding mechanic, you're going to have to watch out for that miasma. Because that is going to be so key in late game team fights if Scooplord does even manage to get to the point where he's starting to threaten those carries. Something to look out for there, and a gank
here. Lane here. Everyone is on this side, though, as Quinn is now joining the fight as well, so we got a 3v3 happening over here. Dustin Campbell's getting knocked up a little bit here. Sefaren's going to jump in. They're focusing down on Alex 30. The ultimate from Quinn does miss here, so that can be enough for a turnaround. Seafarens wanted to jump forward, but Quinn will flash away. Pukelord, meanwhile, trying to re-engage here, just gets the stun, and then they back off.
Yeah, unusual mistake there from Quinn. He kind of ulted into a different time zone there. But otherwise, it might have been the fight going towards Scaling. But you can see already how tanky they are. Now there's a replay coming in here, and we can see the setup for this as the Dinzbags sort of converge onto that mid. Pukelord is not at all aware of this with the vision they've got. No, he is aware of it, so they are trying to bait this fight. And
on the live too, we did see another gank happening too as well. But
there we go.
Get back into here. We do see this fight going through, and
look how tanky they are.
Look how unfortunate that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all forced to kind of back away. But
yeah, so tanky there. You can see how difficult it is to kill, even with a perfect ult there from Seafarens to get on all three. Yeah, that replay really shows you just how powerful they are. Back to live here, and like you said, we did get a gank coming in. You were watching that. I didn't see exactly what happened there. Can you fill me in, Johnny?
Basically, Lumix roamed towards mid, was able to hit the ultimate onto, I think it was Seafarens, if I'm remembering correctly. And then, but they were just kind of able to get out of it.
Yep, doesn't look like any kills went over.
But yeah, so no one got into
yeah. There we go. Anyway, yeah, now the position on the map. Dragon is about to spawn. Scaling still have a position here, but Dustin Campbell's approaching. The question is, do they even want to take a fight? Samira not on a completed item yet, just the BF sword and the Warhammer there. And that is going to be difficult for Samira to start popping off against a team where you can see it's so difficult to kill them. And yeah, Dinzbag just not even wanting to go for this.
Yeah, and you were talking about Cassiopeia earlier and the grounding, how effective it is on Scoop Lord, but it's also super effective on the Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Or sorry, on the
you mean
Samira.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dinzbag, yeah.
Yeah, so on Dinzbag there, because you have to get to the point where you can ult. You can't just press it whenever you want. So if you can kind of get, you could slow down the process towards S, as well as if they get to S, you could just put it down, and then they still can't ultimate for at least enough for you to get away. Lots of ways that Leggy can kind of play it through, and Cassiopeia, a really, really good pick into that champion for sure. Meanwhile, we're looking at damage. Just do a ton of damage right now, fighting a 2v1, but has the confidence that they can continue to do this damage. Dustin Campbell is behind if Leggy were to fully commit to this. But
yeah, and they see the Alex Dirty that I think they spotted Thresh up in the top lane, and so I'm surprised Dinzbags, they're just so afraid of feeding this Cassiopeia more that they don't even go for the easy 2v1 and potentially even 3 if Dustin Campbell were to show up. Dinzbag going in for some damage, but you can see a trade not favoring him, and there's the ult.
They use the ultimate. Dinzbag able to avoid that for now, but just pure damage cut of the Leggy. Just can kind of, spam that Q button and get that going down. 5-0 on this Cassiopeia. Like we said, this is here to carry.
Yeah, Luminex gonna run into, oh no, the Goon Squad in the jungle. The Puke Lord finishes that one off, and Luminex not even able to get those wards down. It's tale as old as solo queue. I was just trying to ward, guys. I can't even get into our own jungle. Gonna be very frustrating there for Luminex and Dinzbags, the amount of pressure they have, and with that kind of pick, that's what you can see. And speaking of picks, here's the Puke Lord going for another one.
Yeah, trying to jump on top of this. Seafaring taking quite a few damage here. Coming in is Dustin Campbell. Force them kind of off here. They're trying to run away from this one. Dustin Campbell goes down as the Coop secures that kill.
Yeah, there's the pressure coming in from the Shen, just able to use those globals. It was Pantheon getting in position to catch Seafarence off, Shen ulting in later to catch the other kill, and, just so much map pressure has been achieved so far by Dinzbags. There's the Bard ultimate. Did it stop the damage there? We didn't quite see that. No, it looks like the Herald did hit after all. Lord gives his own off, and they're going to take this tower. They're going to get another hit on this Herald, too.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get this over here, or do they stop it just in time? No, they get one more hit onto it, onto that mid tier 2. So, good damage being done towards the mid lane as we tune back into the bot lane. And right now, Dinzbags just can't do anything about just pushing up to you, especially without any help, without any pressure from someone else to kind of pressure any sort of CC so you can actually do any damage to Leggy. Right now, it's just a little bit of a nightmare situation for the Samira player.
Yeah, with the Samira, it does. You see the Reddit clips of Samira popping off and just healing off of everybody around her. And the thing is, that is a capability that the champion has, but you need the setup for it. It's not an auto win at all, especially after the nerfs. You really do need the right situation in order for those crazy pop-off clips and plays to happen. And right now, suffice to say, that situation is not manifesting for Dinzbags whatsoever. It is just absolutely, they're just being stuffed here in this game.
Yeah,
and that is, Leggy and Alex Dirty. Their pressure in the bot lane has just been such a huge part of that.
Yeah, and a big part of it too is the scaling's focus towards the bot lane. They just kind of know Dinzbags is the type of player Dinzbag embodies a Darius main, right?
Yes.
That's what he is, and it's just exactly if you leave him alone, he'll just carry the game and just explode. But scaling knows that, right? So they're just playing through that. You see GG bot difference is what it looks like, but that is mostly actually a work by the entire team. It was really a team game being played through this early game, and now Scaling can kind of play with their food and continue to push what they want. Right now, Coop doing a very, very good job basically matching the Scoop Lord over here. So Scoop Lord isn't just free pushing and taking lanes right now. So that's what you needed there. And there wasn't a lot of attention paid by Quinn to help that out. So that's huge. Meanwhile, we turn back onto the people who are jumping on top of Dinzbags over here. Quinn and Alex Dirty have now arrived to help with this fight. Death Sentence does not hit, but it doesn't matter. The Puke Lord does secure the kill.
Yeah, I think the Ignite was what took him down in the end. And speaking of top lane, Johnny, I just got to point this out because we didn't talk about it on the analyst desk and we didn't talk about it here. And that is that Darius was left up in the first rotation of bans.
Yeah,
and instead the first pick went towards Luminex on the Bard. So this, to those of you who are just joining us, thank you, by the way, to all of our new viewers. It's amazing to see everybody out here checking out some regional esports. But the thing to know is that Dinzbag is famously one-trick Darius almost. He is so strong on Darius, able to play far above even his elo in a lot of cases on that champion. I'll pause this while we get an ult in the mid.
Yeah, Leggy gets hit by that ultimate, but it's not going to mean a whole lot. But Quinn may want to re-engage here anyway. Here comes the Pantheon to join the fight as well. So there's all of them here ready for this ARAM fight. But Dinzbags didn't want any of it as they all run away.
Yeah, we got the disengage, and actually that's 2 big ultimates. Both the Puke Lord and the Coop used their ultimate there. So that is 2 big globals that are taken away for almost nothing. Only a little dragon control. They are going to put themselves on soul point. But I want to go back to the Darius, because since it was left open, it's very interesting Dinzbag didn't take it. Usually he switches up to top lane if it's left open and just goes for that Darius blind. But you can see Scoop Lord doing well to fill those shoes, as even though the Coop looks better in lane and looks like he's bullying him out, still Tryndamere has been left alone here. He's been able to take out this turret, and he's been able to get pressure on the map, starting that split push dream in the late game. Tryndamere goes for it. Dinzbag is totally caught out here.
Yeah, this is not a space you want to be at. Trying to jump away, though. Almost gets away, but not going to do that for Puke Lord. They'll secure this kill. They'll now turn attention onto Dustin Campbell. Leggy will pick up that one. 6-0 now on this champion. 12-0 for the whole team for scaling. They're up 5,000 gold. They're up basically everything.
Quinn making up for his miss earlier with a nice snipe with the Sejuani ult there to catch out Dinzbag, who it almost looked like had gotten away, but once that projectile blocker is down, it's tough to escape. They're going to continue pushing here, and it's up to the Coop to try to get Scoop Lord out of lane here, because if Tryndamere is allowed to continue pushing, that's going to be a problem. You can see Dinzy just a little out of position there. Good warding. You can see that ward by Gromp allowed this play to happen there, probably from Quinn, and then they do manage to catch out Dustin Campbell as well, as Leggy just cannot be allowed to use his spells. Otherwise, they're just going to continue losing the game. It is crazy what Leggy is able to do at this point in the game with those 2 items completed. 6-0 on the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and it's getting to that point where I don't know the comeback opportunities for Dinzbag are even there. Like, barring
you got to look at that Tryndamere, I think.
So
Here's a
they're
fight.
going to try to take a fight over here. Can they at least get one kill in this one? No, Quinn will flash away, so that puts him low. Puke Lord will pick that one up. There, Seafaren's now just trying to run away. Is low on mana too as well. Puke Lord gets that stun, and hey, I criticized the pick, but that's exactly why you pick it. That point-and-click stun is too easy, and Puke Lord now 4-0-6. So just telling Johnny to shut up, because I can play this champion, and everything just going Scaling's favor. There's literally nothing that you could say that Dinzbags are really happy about in this game.
Yeah, the only thing is that Tryndamere, and if you're trying to rely on that with 2 big globals able to control the map on your team, that's definitely it's a long shot. I'll say that. Now the Baron's going to go over uncontested, allowing them to get more pressure on the map, kind of denying this Tryndamere a little bit of momentum here. And yeah, in that fight just wasn't the right engage. You don't have the damage. Even Samira's not providing damage, but Samira wasn't even there. All you have in that fight, he hadn't had the Sheen completed, so all it was a Proto Belt Echo and a Trinity Force Hecarim trying to do damage to this extremely tanky team already. And with Pantheon, the other thing we got to mention about the Puke Lord is his use of the E. Here he comes to see if he can get out of this one.
Let's see if they finally get something here. Coop is coming to try to help, but now it's a 2v4, and this is exactly what the Dinzbags needed. They'll finally get a kill in the game. Sort of, unfortunately, goes to Luminix, but they'll take that since they had 0 kills at all before this. But here comes the rest of Scaling. They can fight this 4v5. There's probably not a big problem with that. They're going to continue jumping over here. Ultimate comes from Quinn. Alex Dirty is going to flay them backwards. Puke Lord's going to jump on top. Leggy has now joined to do the damage. He's going to get them going down, though, but Seafarens actually picks up another kill in this one. They focus on to Dinzbags, though, now, however, as Quinn gets the kill there. Luminix now getting in a little bit of trouble here. Alex Dirty goes golden. Leggy flashes forward, wants to pick up on the Dustin Campbell, so it actually is right now looking at a 2-for-1 in favor of Dinzbags, despite this being the team super, super far ahead. So, Dinzbags, we take those, is what
we do take those. Yeah, and I don't know, Dinzbag just was not allowed into that fight. If we see the replay here, watch Dinz. He's over on the side trying to get in and do that damage to the carries that are caught out, but look at Quinn. He's zoning out the AD carry completely, pops the ult, doesn't get it. There's the stun. Quinn gets the kill and actually gets away. So we're looking at, these other plays, Leggy finally able to get in and do some damage, but the key there was Dinzbag, having to pop his ult on this beefy Sejuani and just not able to contribute to that team fight at all. Beautiful play there by Quinn, playing kind of the linebacker there for the quarterback of Leggy, and you know the offensive lineman position there of Quinn, and playing that role to perfection there, completely denying the damage.
And in that fight, you kind of saw, let's say the gold was even. You kind of saw how the Dinzbags probably would have won that because,
Yep.
again, they don't really have damage outside of Leggy. So if there wasn't such a disparity in gold, Dinzbag, that's a good fight, to be honest. That was a straight up good fight.
Absolutely.
Would have won that. So that's the other thing you could still kind of look at that. I was talking about it earlier. Like, I don't really see a way for Dinzbags back in this game, but that being said, I still don't necessarily like Scaling's composition 100% in terms of like who's gonna do the damage if they get onto Leggy. So there's still that outside chance that Leggy goes to ham somewhere, and then you're able to pick them off, and then you can kill the rest of the team because they don't really have that much damage kind of going on there. And speaking of killing the rest of the team, the Coop by himself being found out will be taken down. They do get the Cloud Soul while they're doing that, so it's Soul for 1 kill. You'll definitely take that basically every single time. And yeah, there's at least that for Dinzbags. They get a little bit of gold.
Oh, here's the ult though coming in. Quinn
wants to stop that, though. Who cares if we have gold if we kill you all? Luminix if you go down. Quinn picking up that kill. See Farron's trying to put some sort of damage out over here. Here comes a flank from Scoop Lord, but really that just means they'll turn focus on you. Does get that big kill. However, can Scoop Lord get out of here? Will not be able to use. Quinn's gonna be able to dive on top of that. See Farron's now is just trying to run away. So they did get the Quinn. They did get the shutdown. But right now, they are still kind of dying for all of this. Dinzbags now is going to be focused down over here under the tower, trying to jump away, will not be able to do so. Scoop Lord picks up another kill there. They'll continue on towards this mid tower. So 4 people are down for Dinzbags. Again, they finally got Puke Lord, but at a huge cost.
Yeah, a huge cost indeed, but you have to wonder if it's still worthwhile. Seafarent's going in, and it's Scoop Lord who comes in. Leggy a little bit out of position there, and his team just not quite able to peel for him. So that is the value of a late game Tryndamere. You can survive the fights a long time. Quinn does well to get that kill, but that's a huge shutdown coming in for Scoop Lord there, and to get that gold on the Tryndamere, very valuable. Dinzbag here, though, you can't be defending this turret. It is just not the right play. Without your buddy Luminex there, you've got to give that inhibitor up. They did actually leave the inhibitor because it looked like the rest of the team was spawning. Cloud Soul, though, is getting a lot of value on scaling. Now, if you're joining us, you're maybe new to League, what Cloud Soul does, the primary thing, is after you use your ultimate ability, you're getting a huge boost of move speed. And it helps you. Move speed is so valuable in this game, especially on somebody like the Coop, who ults into a fight and then has to try to, once he gets in and gets that shield down, he's trying to make as much chaos happen in the back line of Dinzbags as he possibly can, or peel there for Leggy. And with that extra move speed, he's going to be activated to do that. So I'm really excited to see how they use this Cloud Soul in their next team fight. Pantheon, a similar idea there. And Sejuani using it for the engage. So Cloud Soul getting a lot of mileage here on this scaling composition.
And Leggy too.
Yes, for sure.
Because basically Cassiopeia is essentially 80 carry.
Max range, baby.
Yeah, just going to be able to hit that. Luminex is going to go down. The Coop will pick that one up. Yeah, point I was trying to make. Basically, Leggy, like that champion, basically is an 80 carry. It's positioning intensive, so being able to ult and be able to move around doesn't really certainly help a whole lot. So they have all of that going for them. They have 8,000 gold lead. Scoop Lord trying to get something here by split pushing here. Puke Lord can't really match
shield is down.
This is what I was talking about the scaling though, but taking tower hits is not super advised. Does have the ultimate to be able to not die immediately over here, but that will eventually end. Coop comes in with the ultimate, help Puke Lord secure that one, while the rest of them are just pushing the top lane casually and taking a tier 2 turret in the top lane.
You can see the potential of the Tryndamere. Definitely there's no champion on scaling that's able to 1v1 him in a straight up fight. But the thing about scaling's comp is they don't have to 1v1. They've got globals for days, baby. And using them there, you can see the potential, and Tryndamere's very close to being unlocked, but it might be just a little bit too late as Dustin Campbell gets caught.
Dustin Campbell just wanted to check, wanted to go like, I'll just try to go for the steal, but they're not even going to give you the opportunity to try to go for the steal. So good job there, Alex 30, always the aggressive support, making plays for the team, getting that one done there. So yeah, they're going to be able to pick this up. Again, this is a good fight right now, right, for them. Seafarron's trying to get something kind of going on, but Puke Lord is able to kind of walk away from that one. They will get this Baron. They'll push any lane they want. In fact, Coop is just split pushing the bot lane while they were doing that. Didn't even need his help over by the Baron to secure that one. Scoop Lord trying to find something over here, but Luminix and Seafarron's are here to help him too as well. The Coop is hella tanky.
Look at this.
Can he eventually get away? He's going to be able to flash over this wall. Yikes.
He is so tanky. That took about like a million years, and they only got, 2/3 of his health down. The Coop is just such a presence on the map right now, and it looks like Scoop Lord might pay for it.
Scoop Lord jumping and over here. Scoop Lord using that ultimate to survive for as long as possible. Leggy will pick up the kill on Dinzbags over onto the backline while that was all happening.
There we
Scoop
go.
eventually secures the kill on Scoop Lord. They now move on to this turret and drop it down. Leggy flashing away so the turret doesn't do continued more damage onto them. 3-0, gonna take down this bottom inhibitor now, and let's watch the replay.
Yeah, replay coming in and on live. I'm pretty sure we're about to see the end of the game, but there is Scoop Lord trying to go in on the back line. He doesn't manage to find Leggy in the fight, and that means that the fight is going the way of scaling. Here we go. We go back to live for the final few hits here, and game one is certainly going over to scaling, as our analyst predicted. That first game dominant here by Leggy and scaling.
Yeah, able to get that one done. Scaling just goes off to a huge lead and never really gives it up. And that's how they needed to run that composition. Like I said, there was an avenue for Dinzbags to kind of continue their way back into it if they were to not just be so far behind, because I'm just going to stab by. I don't 100% like the scaling comp, but I understand why they picked it. And of course, if they could just be this dominant in the early game, then they can kind of do whatever they want.
Exactly. Yep. The very interesting result there in that first game. And now it's time to send it back to our Red Bull analyst desk to talk about it a little bit further, break it down. So, gentlemen, let's send it back over to you.